All right, Crystal.
Uh-huh.
Crystal, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was born in San Pedro, California.
You stayed in California?
Yeah, I was born in San Pedro. And then when I was a couple months old, my family moved to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And then I stayed there until I think preschool. And my mom, she ran a daycare in New Jersey, and I was in the daycare, and she ran that from home. And my dad worked, and then my dad got another job offer in Las Vegas, so we moved to Vegas. And well, she was in Jersey too. She also had my brother when I was 3, and then we moved to Vegas, and I went to school out there until the middle 4th grade, and then we moved back to California, to Orange County.
And how would you describe your childhood in general?
I was quiet. I was a quiet kid, but I loved animals, and I kind of made them my friends. I was molested by my uncle when I was younger, and I think that's why I gravitated towards animals so much, because I kind of like internalized all of that, and I didn't really talk about it. And then when I did talk about it, my mom immediately took my uncle out of the picture from our home and everything, from watching me and my brother. And but it still kind of fucked me up a little bit, because he was like when my dad was away, he was kind of like the father figure. So I didn't have that anymore. And even though he did what he did, I I cared about him, and it was kind of like a weird position for me to be in, because I loved him, but he hurt me at the same time. So I almost feel like I kind of became 2 separate people. Like I had one side that was like the victim, and then the other side I just pretended it didn't happen, so I could just go forward. And I think I kind of worked through my emotions with my pets. I would catch lizards and stuff, and I made them like my family. I guess it's kind of weird to say that, but
How old were you when this happened?
I was, I believe, like about 4, 5, or 6. About
Did it go on for a while, or?
about a year or 2, between 1 and 2 years. But I didn't know it was wrong. I just knew it felt wrong. And I remember I even wrote a letter to Jesus, asking for help. But I hid it. I hid it underneath my mattress. And then one day I went to go look for it, and it had disappeared. So I don't know who had found it, or if it was found, if it just got lost when she was, washing the bedding. But I had my grandma there watching us, my mom's mom, my uncle, and then my grandma's sister, who was one of 2 twins. And they would take us to and from school while my mom worked for a judge in Vegas. And she was a good mom, and she still is. I don't blame her for any of the stuff that happened. I didn't tell her, and she cried, and got upset when I told her, and as did the rest of my family that knew. And I know she was doing the best she could, and she still was able to provide like a home for me and my brother and pay the mortgage. So I'm proud of her, as a mom myself now. I know that's a really hard job, and we can't judge each other constantly. Like, we just have to support each other. So I love my mom, even if we have our differences, which we do. I love her, and I'm grateful that she tried her best. It just feels, I feel like it's important for me to say that, because I don't want her to think that I blame her, because I don't.
What kind of kid were you in high school?
I was a dork. I was really shy. I was in ROTC, which is Reserve Officer Training Corps for the Navy. And I had to wear like a uniform every Wednesday, and I had big boots, and I was in the drill team. I worked with the rifles, but they weren't loaded, and they were like antique, I think. And we would throw them up in the air and march and do all these like kind of tricks with them. But it was kind of crazy for me to do that because I'm a little bit of a klutz. Like I'm the person that like runs into stuff all the time, and I'm just I'm not athletic like my brother. I'm the polar opposite. So I did it because I thought it would look good on my college application, which I didn't even end up applying for. I just went to a JC out of high school.
And drugs started for you at some point?
Yeah, probably out of high school. I mean, I drank in high school, like at parties and stuff, but I was raped when I was 16, and that's probably when I started to really drink. I told a few people when it happened, but the people I did tell kind of, some of them I felt like blamed me, and I didn't get the understanding that I thought I would, and so I didn't really tell many people, and it fucked me up. Like I broke up with my boyfriend that I was seeing at the time because he couldn't handle it, hearing about it. It just put a strain on our relationship, and I feel like it was like a pivotal moment in my upbringing because I stopped trying so hard in school. They took something from me, I felt like, that I never got back, and it messed me up a lot. And I partied harder when it happened, and I would just drink to get wasted to like escape that. So alcohol, I guess, was my first drug, and then in my early 20s, I think I tried meth for the first time. And I remember when I first tried it, it was amazing. Like I felt like euphoria and happy. But then every time after that, it just kind of was a mediocre high. But I think it was more of like the atmosphere that, the people, talking to you, and you just get used to it, sort of. And you slip into an addiction very fast. And I stopped doing it for a long time, and then recently, when I lost my kids and everything, I got into it again because I didn't feel like there was hope, and it was hard.
How many kids do you have?
I have four.
And where are they now?
They're with their fathers. They're with their dads. And I miss them every day. My mom watches them too. And if I didn't have her, I'd be upset. But I know she's a great mom to me, and she's a great grandma to them. And I have no words for like how grateful I am to her for doing that. And I know they're safe with her, but I don't think there's any replacement for a mom, even if it is a grandma. So in the future, I don't know exactly when I get my shit together, I want to go back to them. I know it's going to be a hard road, though, a really hard road. And there's some things that happened to me while out on the streets that I kind of want closure for before I feel safe enough to return to them. I was raped again two more times out here, and I feel like the rapist might come after my kids, and in retaliation. I'm scared. I never thought that it would happen to me again. And when it did, it fucked me up. And one of the guys beat me really bad. He gave me a black eye, and I think he fractured my nose. I didn't report either of them for fear of retaliation, and because I was scared, and I didn't have a rape kit for either time, so I felt like the chances of any type of prosecution would fail. And
I've been living with that, like, and every time I see someone who slightly resembles them, I just I kind of stop breathing almost, and I start to panic, and you could, like, if you were looking at me, you would see like fear. One of the guys was really big, large in stature, and he could have broken me like a twig. He's the one that he beat me up really bad, and I was bleeding. And the other guy was a white guy, and it happened down by the riverbed, and he used someone's name that I knew. He said that they were there, hurt, injured in the tent, and for me to come with them. So just like because of being a parent, you know, if someone says they're hurt, you just instantly go. You don't even think, and that's what I did. You know, I just thought, okay, someone's hurt that I care about. I'm gonna go to him and make sure he's all right. And I followed this dude, and he kept on changing his kind of story as we got further and further away from where I was at, where I was safe. And then we get there, the guy's not there that he said was there. And he was high, he was smoking a lot of crystal, which I didn't realize at first. And the tent was like a mess. And I see 2 guns, and one of them he put at my temple, and he pulled the trigger. And I remember being so fucking scared, like thinking it's gonna kill me. And I believe there was a bullet in the chamber, but it didn't fire on the shot that he pulled with me. So it's kind of like roulette, I guess. And he said if I don't comply and do what he says, those weren't exact words, that he was gonna, you know, kill me. And so I had to just lay there when he did what he did. And I remember just crying, saying, please don't. And just, there was a guy in the tent right outside, and I thought, if I say anything, he'll kill me and he'll kill that guy because he's a witness, and they'll never find our bodies, nor will they hear it, because we're right by the freeway with all the cars going by. It was very loud. Like, I thought about all this before I decided I couldn't do anything. But as soon as we got out, or as soon as he was done, I said, I immediately stopped crying. I got my head together, and I said, I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry. And he goes, oh, you are? And he was so crazy. He just went along with it. And thank you. And he goes, well, let's go get something to eat. I go, yeah, I think there's a taco truck, because I remember seeing one on the way in. It was a Rick's taco truck. And as soon as we hit the main highway or whatever, I fucking ran. I broke away from him. I ran like my life depended on it. And I didn't look back. The whole time I'm trying not to duck. Like, I felt like he was gonna shoot me from behind, but he didn't. And I ran so far and so fast. And I heard him yelling something, but I ignored it, and I kept on going. And then I zigzagged through buildings and stuff and got away from him. And a couple months after, a guy did approach me on the street that I believed was him, but he had changed his appearance so much I didn't quite recognize him. And he tried to give me a bicycle. And I told him to get him I said, you and the bike can go fuck yourselves, and like, if you get near me again, I'm gonna shove you in the intersection. And he like kind of acted weird, and then he left. And before that, when he did rape me, he did try to give me a bicycle then too. It was a brand new one, a new pink one, like metallic pink. And I thought that was really weird. Like, I don't know why someone would rape someone and then give them a bicycle after to ride. Like, who would want to ride a bicycle, like a rape bike? That's just fucking weird. It fucked me up though, and I've been so scared after this all happened, because I feel like he had a shirt that said "go" on it, and I feel like there was a connect that maybe like he thought, because I hung out with some biker guys before that in a different house in Van Nuys, and I thought that maybe he thought I was a biker or something, which I'm not. But I feel like it was like a mistaken identity, or like it was retaliation or something for some misunderstanding. So I've been really scared ever since to talk about it or do anything, because I feel like
he knew that I was hanging out with that guy that he had mentioned. So that meant he had eyes on me days before that, at a time when I thought I was alone. So I was piecing together all these things in my head about what he knew about me, and it scared the shit out of me because I never saw him. I don't know where he was following us, how he was tracking me. The only thing I could think is the Obama phone I had, I believe, at the time. That was the only device on me, but still, how did he connect to that? I don't know. And I remember being in an Uber or something later on, and I saw him at a gas station. He was really drunk, but he didn't see me, and I stayed in the car and I hid. And I haven't seen him since, but I've been scared about it ever since. Because the person that I hung out with before that, I later learned to be an LA County Sheriff Department member. The guy he used to bait me in the tent, he gave me a street name, which I won't use just in case someone tries to hurt him. But he didn't give me his real name, and he was dressed in plain clothes. But later on, I see him jump into a squad car, and that really startled me. It's like, why is there a cop or a police officer like hanging out with me in this place, And then how does that guy know that I did hang out with him, and why is he using his name to bait me in there? Like it was just really weird, and it scared me to the point where I feel like I can't even go to them because they're part of it, they're already involved. Like, I'll put myself in so much danger, like, if I say anything. So I couldn't. And then months down the road, I was walking again, and I was so tired. And someone pulls up and they go, "Do you need a ride somewhere?" And it was a black dude. And I said, "Yeah," because I thought he was just going to give me a ride. I didn't think he would hurt me, like, stupidly. And I was so exhausted, like, beyond belief. And I get in the car and we go to a gas station. He gets a cigar, and he's acting really calm and cool or whatever. And I'm just so grateful to be off my feet. And then he goes, "Do you want some Hale?" And I didn't know what the fuck Hale was. And I thought it meant like the cigarette. So I said, "Yeah." And he passes the cigar or whatever. I said, "Oh, no, it's okay." And then he proceeds to drive somewhere else from where I said. And I go, "Wait, where are you going? You're going the wrong way." And he goes, "Oh, well, I just have to go to my house real quick." And I'm like, "Oh no." And I kind of had a sinking feeling like this isn't going good. Because every time someone's done that to me, like, things just go wrong when they divert from the agenda. And we get there, and I forget what the reason was, but he gets me to go inside the house. Like, he didn't want me wait in the car. He said something about the neighbors or something. And I get in there, and then he throws me on the bed, or he pushes me. I was sitting on the edge of the bed because it was like a studio, like a one-room place. I'm sitting on the edge. He pushes me down, and he gets on top of me and I say, "No, no, no," and he starts beating me up. He makes my nose bloody, and he gives me a black eye, and he punched me probably like 15 times. And I thought he was gonna kill me. I remember like almost choking on my blood. And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. If I can't die, I haven't seen my kids. Like, this isn't happening." And he rapes me. And when it was over, I was just laying there, and he goes, "Put your fucking clothes on real quick," or something. And I thought he was gonna shoot me, and because he had also said during the rape, he said, if you do anything, I'm gonna shoot you, because I have a gun in that bag. And he motioned like towards the corner, and I never actually saw a gun, but he said he had one, and he had I remember hanging up or something, an Allied Securities black jacket with a patch on the sleeve. And so I assumed like that he worked for them. And I thought that was pretty stupid of him to keep that out, because he's letting me know where he works.
but somehow I got brave and I got him to, he asked me where I live, and I couldn't, I was kind of fucked up from him hitting me in the head. I couldn't articulate exactly where I lived, and he was getting impatient. So he asked me the address because he was going to put it in his app, in his phone. And I'm thinking, this guy's fucking stupid. Like, why would he do that? Like, that's, that could be used against him. But I said it, I gave him the address. He put it in his phone, and he drove me I asked him to go to my mom's house because I could not think of any other address right then. And I didn't want him to kill me with him being so impatient. So he puts it in, and when we drive to my mom's house, I start, and just so you know, me and my mom hadn't talked for a while before this, so it wasn't normal for me to just show up like that. So I thought that alone would get my mom or someone in my family to realize something was wrong, and get help. But it didn't work out that way. I pull up, and he goes, get out of the car, and I start throwing stuff out of his car to make a scene, so hopefully the neighbors or someone would see and like do something. And it didn't nothing happened. Like I threw the stuff out, then he got mad, and I believe he got out and picked it up and put it back in there, and I ran to the door, and he speeds off. And there's a woman who I was told is named Cindy, answers the door. And mind you, my mom has a friend named Cindy who's a hairdresser, but this was not that Cindy. And I thought, that's really fucking weird. Like, who is this woman? I've never seen her before. And she was like directing my mom and telling my mom what to do. Like, oh, don't let her in. Like, it was as if they were prepared for me to be there. And I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out how they knew, like, I was coming. And my mom looked scared. Her eyes were like bloodshot, like she had been crying. And I immediately felt sick. Like I felt like something had simultaneously been going on in my mom's house when this had been happening to me, And the lady goes, don't go in the bathroom, don't let her in. She's telling my mom not to let me in. But I pushed past the lady. I go in the bathroom, I pee, I flush the toilet, and I locked the door when I peed, but they were trying to get in. And I thought, that's really fucking weird that they don't want me to come in. Something's wrong. But I had been hit in the head, so I was like out of it. And I purposely peed because I knew that they could use that to gain access into the house, to figure out what was wrong with a warrant, for the DNA evidence, right? They could get a warrant with that, I thought. And I was just trying to think how my mom taught me growing up, like what to do in situations that are bad. Always think, use your brain, use everything to get out of that situation, because you're your best rescuer, That's what my mom taught me. And so I was just trying to follow suit. And I go to the bathroom, and I come out, and while I was in there, they called the cops on me. And the cops ended up coming, and they arrested me for like trespassing or something. And I just thought that was so wrong. And then I get there, and I'm still covered in blood, mind you. It's like all over me. It's obvious I was hurt. The cops, they take my information in the intake part of it, and then they, I forgot what station it was, but we were in West Garden Grove at my mom's house. And they take me in, and they go, do you have anything to report? And I said no. And because I was scared of them. And they were so angry when they said it. And then they released me without shoes. I left the black leather size 8 shoes at the guy's house, because he was rushing me too fast, and I couldn't find them. But they would have had blood on them from me. And they released me with no shoes, and I ended up wandering the streets for a couple of days, and I forgot exactly where. I think I went to a friend's house after that. But it fucked me up a lot. And I've been scared about like getting in cars ever since, and trusting people, and I'll never feel the same again about a lot of things. And every time I see someone who remotely resembles them, I want to run the other way. And I'm so scared that now that he knows where my mom lives, like there's gonna be they're in danger. Like, and like, I tried to go back to my mom's house to talk, and I couldn't get past like the family security, like other family members. They wouldn't let me talk to my mom. So it's like something weird is going on that I feel like they're not telling me about. And it scares the shit out of me, but my hands are tied, like I can't communicate with my family. And I try calling old numbers that I remember and I can't get through. And I don't know what the fuck happened and why they reacted with no reaction, like why I didn't matter. But it really hurts to feel like your family doesn't care enough.
This was how long ago?
Like over, God, I don't even know, like a year ago, over a year ago.
You've been on the streets since then?
Yeah. I feel like there's a certain level of safety with people that don't have an address, you know, and you can't really find on paper more than a house, because a house you could just go on a computer, look up, okay, she lives here, let me go there. If you're on the streets, you could be anywhere.
So you're hiding by living on the streets?
A little bit, yeah. I didn't realize I was until I really thought about it. I'm like, I'm doing it kind of for protection because I don't want, and if they're going to follow me, if someone out there is trying to follow me to hurt me as retaliation because they think I'm going to tell, which I wasn't going to, then I'd rather have them follow me out here and lead them away from my family than go to my family. So I'm doing it to protect them, but they don't even know that. And it's the worst feeling ever. Like to think that like something could happen to me and my kids will think I didn't care about them. They'll be the last thought that mom just left and she's on drugs and she doesn't care, when it's not like that at all. I love them and I'm staying away because I love them. But it's been really hard. It's really hard to get happy about things and to not go to that dark place that it remembers everything about those days. But I do try to get out of myself, and when I'm not so upset, I keep my eyes out for other girls that may be led into like a trafficking type situation or become victims of something similar. I always keep my eyes out for girls like that, and if I sense that they're in some sort of danger, I try to get them away from the group, by acting like I'm more friends than I am and saying, let's go get something to eat or whatever, so I can get them to talk separate from the guys. Because I think it's a huge problem, and girls are trafficked and raped more often than we know or talk about, and they're really scared to talk about it because they'll get beat up or killed. And I've heard about a lot of bodies lately being found of young women. So I'm grateful to be alive, but I don't know for how long I will be. I feel like it's a ticking time bomb or something. And it scares the shit out of me.
What is your drug now?
Huh?
What is your drug now?
I do fentanyl and crystal. Uppers and downers.
How are you supporting yourself?
Well, for a while I had a boyfriend, but we're kind of like, we're unsure right now. So he was, I would like sometimes clean for extra money, and he would fly. And it's really hard. It's really hard to make ends meet, and it's a constant struggle. And you don't really have, even if you do make money, you don't have extra money, to have fun. You're just getting money for survival, the necessities, and that's so hard. And it's so hard to be happy. And it's the thing that I found helps is I talk to people, and I try to make my own tribe, like on the streets. Even though I don't talk to my family, I try to find family among them and rebuild like another one, And I didn't forget my family, but they're, it's like they're on hold until I can figure out what the fuck happened with all of that and feel secure enough to go back, because I don't want to be followed. Like I really feel like I was targeted for some reason, and I feel like all these bad things are connected, and it wasn't just random occurrences. But without talking to anyone who does, who looks into stuff like that, I can't be sure. And it's really scary. I'm always really aware of men that like stare at me for too long or seem to follow me, like, but act really weird or off. I always spot them right away, and people will be like, "What's wrong with you?" And like I can't even like talk about it. I freeze up so much, but I'll just try to get away from them. But it's hard. It's hard.
Do you talk with your kids still?
No, my ex, he wouldn't allow it, and for a while I was really scared about their safety, and I would call it, he would tell me to fuck off and hang up the phone on me, and I was just trying to call and make sure they were okay. So finally, I broke the restraining order that he placed on the house, which he did just to be vindictive, and I went inside and I was talking to my daughter, and she was so happy to see me, and she was telling me about a phone she had gotten, and she was so excited, and it brought me to tears. It was so heartbreaking. And then he grabbed my eldest son and he pulls him in the back room, and my son is screaming for me like, "Mommy, mommy," and I couldn't go to him because he had him. And then within 10 minutes, the 2 officers showed up and they arrested me for trespassing, which I knew they were going to. But I risked it because I wanted to see my kids, and I basically did my own welfare check because they mattered more to me than getting arrested. And that was the last time I had seen them. But I even told my ex about one of the rapes because it just happened, and he didn't care. He didn't care. He said, "Good." So.
What do you think people don't understand about your situation? Like your family or...
I don't think they know what happened, or I think that they're being told something else, or I feel like maybe something around me was being watched at the same time, and maybe they knew what was happening to me and they legally couldn't do anything about it, so they feel like if they speak out about it, they'll be held accountable. I feel like it's a cover-up, like they're covering up something else that was going on at the same time, and if one thing is looked into, everything else is gonna be looked into, and kind of like, I don't know, like Rampart sort of, or and I don't know, just I feel with like every bone in my body that something else happened, or it's way bigger than just me, and I want to speak out about it so bad, but I'm so scared of so many things and people that it's not worth it. I feel like I'll be killed as like a example, and be made an example. And I even tried to find like people that I dated right before this, and I can't find them, and I'm afraid that something happened to them because of associations they have, or friends or not friends they have, that may have looked at the whole thing as something other than what it was. And another person I tried to find, they said he had a heart attack, and I don't think that's true. I feel like there's more to that than I'm hearing, and it just scares me. It's like everyone around it is disappearing, and I'm so scared I'm gonna be next. But every day means more to me than normal people would probably imagine. Like, I'm grateful for every day that I'm here, and I try to make something, be seen as like happy, and I try to appreciate things more. The It's like my world was black and white before, and now I see color, but it's temporary. Like, I can't, I don't know for how long, you know, I'll be able to be okay. I feel like I'm waiting for something bad to happen again. And it's really hard to live like that. It's really hard. I don't know what would make me feel safe, though. If they're caught, or I feel like even if they're caught and they get locked up, then they're going to blame me, you know, coming out. Like, I feel like there's no good possible outcome. Like,
Perhaps getting away from LA could be a good thing for you.
but then see, I would worry about my kids. Like, I feel like if I run away, they're gonna know that that's what they need to do to scare me and to keep me compliant or something. Like, I'm so tired of running. You know, I don't want to run from this because I want to be strong for them. And I don't want my daughter especially to feel like she has to fear being a victim ever. You know, God forbid something happens to her, which would be my nightmare. I don't want her to feel like she doesn't have a platform to speak out against it. And that's my biggest concern, is raising awareness for other victims and giving them a place where they could comfortably talk about being a victim, because the only way to stop someone from hurting someone again is for them to get reprimanded somehow. You know, and if we feel too scared to talk about it, that'll never happen. It'll just continue. They'll keep on hurting other people. And it's really hard. It's really hard to be brave enough to do that. You know, I understand both sides of other victims' stories, you know, telling and not telling, or it's just really complicated. And I don't blame anyone either way for doing what they need to do to be okay.
All right, Crystal, thank you so much for
You're
sharing your story.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
I hope you stay safe.
Thank you.